Dolphins made another signing today. That's center. But it's not who you think they signed. What is up, Finn fans? Dolphins making some more moves today. I'm going to talk about it, break it down, see how we feel about it, and go from there. But before we jump into that, I have to shout out a few people. I got 3 new Patreons. Thank you guys so much for joining the Patreons. AJ, Ariel, Mike. Thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon. Again, if you guys want to, it is linked below, but don't ever feel like you need to. There's different tiers, different all that stuff. I'm also building the, I think it's a YouTube Premiere or YouTube's own little perk thing, right? Where during live streams, you'll get a special badge, and the longer you've been in there, you get special badges that I'm going to specifically make. So it's special badges. You're going to get released videos before anyone else can see it. You're going to get all these cool little perks and these little badges and these icons and these, made straight from me emojis. And during the live stream, you could pop up. I think there's the join button next to my subscribe button if you want to join it. So I'm doing a bunch of things to thank you guys. I'm doing a bunch of things to give you guys special perks and all that stuff. So if you would like to, I'm setting this stuff up, but don't ever feel like you need to do that stuff. I've said this time and time again. The only thing I ever ask, and that is if you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button and just watch the videos. It's the only thing I ever want from you guys, and that is if you like the content. Other than that, I got to shout out my guys at patchvibes.com. They got some fantastic patches. They got some fantastic pins. They got some fantastic shirts. Constantly making new stuff. They gave me a little sneak peek of something that's coming out. Looks really, really cool. So if you go over there, use the promo code DDW, you get yourself 20% off. So today, the Miami Dolphins made another move. Yesterday, they made a move signing wide receiver Robert Foster. I talked about that in the live stream. You can go back, check that out. Also, check the live stream. It wasn't long. It was like a 45-minute live stream. I talk about why I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'll give you a little bit more of a reason why I'm not jumping to conclusions in comment of the day. But I'll talk about that. But Robert Foster, Dolphins signed him. He was with Washington. He was also with Buffalo. Really fast, speedy wide receiver. Not a big name. Not Juju. Not Galladay, not Samuels, who unfortunately went to the Washington football team. Not any of these, but he's a very speedy, fast wide receiver. Can definitely play that slot. Ran a 4.41. They call him the Road Runner. It's his nickname. Really fast wide receiver. I'm very interested to see what he does in camp. It's a 1-year deal. A lot of these signings are barely breaking, a million. I think the most expensive one was Brissett, and he was only getting $5 million. And actually, he's only getting $2.5 million because the other $2.5 million was a signing bonus. So he's barely getting any money. So all these other signings are, barely anything. But I'm very interested to see what Robert Foster can do in camp with his speed and all that stuff. So that was yesterday. Today, the Dolphins signed center Matt Skura. I'm assuming that's how you say his name, but I'm pretty sure someone's going to tell me I said it wrong, from the Baltimore Ravens. They signed him to a 1-year deal. Now, a lot of people, again, there's Andrews. They could have traded for Hudson. Again, I wanted Lindsley, but I wasn't going to pay him as much as he got, which was a lot. I think it was $13 million a year. Great center, but I don't know if I'm going to give him that much money, especially with the amount of centers that are in this draft. But the Dolphins signed Matt Skura. I'm assuming that's how you say his name. Someone's going to correct me. 1-year deal, right? And I looked at it and I'm like, what? Who is this guy, right? And that's not a good thing, right? A lot of people want the Dolphins to go out and make big splashy moves. So when you sign somebody and you're like, well, who is this guy? Let's do more research on him. Like you guys know I will, right? 13 out of 1,350 snaps, he's allowed 2 sacks and 5 penalties, right? He does have a snapping issue where I think he fumbled like 2 or 3 balls. He needs to work on that. But when it comes to run blocking win rate, he's the 10th in the NFL in centers. Andrews was the 9th. Just a little comparison over the guy who's still out there. I wonder if imagine the Dolphins still sign Andrews. That'd be very interesting. And pass blocking win rate, he is 4th in the NFL at safety at center. So not a bad center, being 10th in the run block win rate and 4th in the pass block win rate. So again, I'm like, well, why did they get him 1 year? I bet you it's like a 1 year, $2 million contract. I don't know the money. But multiple knee ligament injury kind of inhibited him. I can't talk from playing as well as he could. You look at him versus Tate Karras. Tate Karras was a little bit better, but we'll see how he pans out. Now, again, this move, I would have preferred Andrews. Heck, you guys know I was banging the table to go after Hudson, but we know what the Dolphins are doing, right? They're building. They're not going to be overspending in free agency, especially with the fact that it's $20 million lower this cap space than it's been the past 2 years. So I'm expecting the Dolphins to continue to build through the draft, continue to build what they have, the foundation they have. And next year, when they have I think they have over $70 million in cap space next year, really go after these players. I expect them to go through the draft a little bit more. 4 picks in the top 50. You look at Creed Humphreys, Quinn Mirenes, Drew Dahlman, and David Moore. Those are the 4 centers right there. Plug in and play. Ready to go. Those 4 centers. And the Dolphins could definitely get one of the 4 with the top 4 picks they have. Same thing with wide receivers. Wide receivers super deep in this draft. Super deep. You can get one at 3, trade down from 3 to 8. Say with the Carolina Panthers, say that they want to take Justin Fields. Still get a top wide receiver. I know a lot of you guys want them to take Pitts, the tight end / whatever the heck he is. That's another possibility. You trade down a little bit. Somebody's quarterback needy team wants to go up to 3. You can get that. 18, you can still get Najee Harris. There's another running back, I forgot his name, you can get with the first, second round pick. There's a ton of moves that the Dolphins can do in this draft, and I think and I'm feeling that is their thought process. Because a lot of these moves, they're understanding that they don't have a lot of cap to play with, and they don't want to take all of the money they have and stick it to one person, and then all of a sudden there's still holes that they need to fill. And I know I'm on Twitter right now to make sure any breaking news that happens, I can get it to you, like Mitchell Trubisky signing with the Buffalo Bills, which I think is hilarious. And Kyle Rudolph just signed with the Giants 2 years, $16 million. It's very interesting. But I know a lot of you guys are angry. A lot of you guys, what are they doing? Tua needs weapons. We don't go out and get weapons. Tua needs help on the offensive line. We bring in Matt Skura. What are they doing? We'll see. Again, I keep saying that there's players I want, and then they don't sign them. So I'm not saying the players that I want them to get anymore, but there's still some decent players out there. I'd like them to at least get a pass rusher, please. Emmanuel Ogbah had 9 sacks last year. Still can get better. We'll see how Vince Beagle does on outside linebacker. We'll see how Andrew Van Ginkel does on the outside linebacker. But yeah, there's players that I want them to get, and when they go somewhere else, I'm like. And then I see how much they make. Like I said, I wanted Lindsley, and then I saw how much he's getting from the Chargers. I was like, wow. Nah, I'm good. That's a pretty penny. So we'll see how this all pans out. A lot of you guys ask me, when am I going to get disappointed with the moves they make, right? Why are you being so, so whatever about it, or so like it's not bothering you? Because they're not done. When the finished product, and for me, the finished product is after the draft. When I see all the pieces they added, where they're going to fit, and how it looks, then I'll tell you if I'm upset or not, right? Like you saw last year in the draft, when they drafted Noah Igbenogany, I was like, who? Why didn't you grab a safety or a running back at that 30 spot, right? I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt that he may come in and play better, but I wait. I give it time, right? Some of these moves make you scratch your head, like going after that tight end / running back, getting the corner, a fullback, getting the corner, Coleman. You're like, why? Building the depth at the special teams, building depth. It seems like that's what they're doing in free agency. They're not going to throw a ton of money. So, the jury's still out if they'll go after Andrews and move Matt Skura to guard, which is a possibility. Get rid of Jesse Davis, or have Jesse Davis or Dieter be at the center position and have Matt Skura play guard, being that he had a hard time with the snapping, but he's, like I said, 10th ranked in the NFL at center and run block win rate, and 4th at pass block win rate. So maybe move him to guard, maybe get, we don't know. All I could do is see the moves they make and react to them. And some of these moves, I'm like, that's just depth. It's just depth and competition. They're not spending a lot. And the other reason I'm not losing my marbles or freaking out is because Brian Flores told us he was going to do this. Brian Flores came out and said, literally, this is what was going to happen. And I don't know why so many people are losing their marbles about it when literally Brian Flores came out and said this. He warned the fan base. Can't always get what you want. We're going to put a bid in for certain players. We're going to try to get certain players, but if the money gets up there, we're not going to overspend. He literally said that. But there's people on Twitter, there's fans, there's all these people that are like, what do they do? You got to... Blah, blah. He said he was going to do this. So I'm not upset. Again, let's sit back and wait. Because last year, we looked at what they did in the draft, right? They went out and they signed a big contract. Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy. Again, Agba, Lawson. Agba's contract's not even that big, especially for the production we got out of him. And Shaq Lawson, with the trade, we actually only ate about $2 million. Even with Kyle Van Noy getting cut, still saved a ton of money. I think $15 million on his cut. Other than that, Gruger Hill, Fedulum, Roberts, they're all the same type of signings that actually panned out to be pretty well. Roberts made some big stops on fourth down for us at linebacker, so they're the same type of moves. But last year, everyone was looking at the strength of schedule. Everyone was looking at what the Dolphins did. Oh, no, we're still not anywhere near good. Look at that strength of schedule. Look how hard this season's going to be. We'll be lucky to win 6 games. And they went 10-6. And then all of a sudden, everyone was like, oh, well, maybe. So that's why even when the schedule comes out and everyone wants me to give you a definite who are they going to play? Well, I don't know how they look. I don't know how they look in preseason. I can't really tell you. Injuries could happen, but I'll give you a roundabout number. I said 8-8. They blew my expectations out of the water, and that's why I don't freak out as much. You sit back and you look at what they do, and then you get wait. Come week 9, if they're 3-6, well, they messed up. They should have added more pieces, and now they have to add more pieces next year. They messed up royally. But if there's 6-3, all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe you guys should trust the process and trust the guys who know what they're doing. And took a 5-11 team to 10-6, one game from making the playoffs. Any other year, 10-6 gets you in the playoffs, wild card. It just so happened there was a lot of good AFC teams, So that's why I sit back. Again, I'm not a professional. I react. I give you the stats. I give you the breakdown. And we'll see how it pans out. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to lose my marbles. I'm not going to say this team sucks, Greer sucks, all this stuff. A lot of people say, well, Greer's been with the organization for 20 years. We haven't done anything. He's had control for 2. This is his second year of having control. He didn't have control when Tannenbaum and Gase were here. This is his first year having control. Let's see how this all pans out. But I'm very interested. We'll see. If they don't add a center, like I said, after the draft, if they make some stupid moves, if they don't address certain positions, if there's a guy on the board, if Creed Humphreys is sitting there and that second round pick comes around and Creed Humphreys or Quinn Miranez is sitting there and the Dolphins take a corner with that second round pick instead of one of these top centers, I'm going to lose my marbles. I promise you that. I will lose my marbles because what are you doing, man? But until then, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I hope that makes you feel better. The point of me doing these like comments of the day where I'm not really taking comment, but I'm going off of everyone's comments, is more to just make you guys feel better, make you guys understand that we'll see how this pans out. Not to lose your mind and get all crazy. Because a lot of people are like, why aren't they restructuring people? Why aren't they doing this? Maybe they like what they have. Maybe they like what they've seen. They've seen them practice. We don't get to see them practice. We see them game day. They see what they do as a unity. So maybe they like stuff that we haven't seen. We'll see. But there's a lot of time left. There's a lot going on between now and the draft. A lot of moves will be happening. Potential trades, cuts, re-signs, signings. So like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think of this moves. I know a lot of you guys wanted different centers, but what do you guys think of this move? What do you guys think of what they've done so far? Be sure Do check out Miami Sports Music, fantastic website and YouTube channel. I'm part of it. TD's a part of it. Solo D started it with his boy Steven. Be sure to check it out. Other than that, like I said, more breaking news happens. It won't be like this. You get it straight from the phone. But we'll see. We'll see how this all pans out. We have no control over it. So to get angry over something you got no control over, it's just going to drive you nuts. Well, love you guys. We just broke 21,000 subs. Thank you guys so much for that. Thank you guys for joining the Patreon. Like I said, I got a bunch of things planned for you guys. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Like usual, stay classy. Fins up.